What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to What's Up Wednesdays, the professionals of the Roundtable, always brought to you by Healing Your Way. As a reminder, you can find Healing Your Way on YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of the places. And if you like the podcast, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share with all of your friends. Today, we are joined by
Meenal Patel. I'm a scientist and hypnotherapist.
Always love having
Thank
you
you.
on. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Today, we are talking about health news today. Do you want to give us a brief rundown of the topic?
Yes. So we're going to talk about all the things that are kind of in the news related to MAHA, right? Make America Healthy Again, and all the things that are coming out. And one of the things is Tylenol usage, folic acid versus folate, vaccines, and these things are in the news, and we're gonna kind of like tie it up and like talk about why it's important.
Yeah, we're going to put into a nice little bow.
Yeah.
Some headlights on them. So let's talk. I think the best place to start is with the Tylenol. I feel like that is all over the news, memes about it everywhere. Everybody's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think are the most important things to start off with here?
Well, Tylenol was acetaminophen. It's supposed to be safe for use, but they've had studies to show, well, for a while now, that it's not. So we're talking about this because I actually saw, and I'm going to promote these people in the podcast. BB McGuire is the woman's name. She's a nurse, and I heard her podcast yesterday. And so in listening to her podcast, she was talking about these topics that were brought up. So I think it's important for our community to know, because Tylenol is not safe. And why is Tylenol not safe? It's prescribed to children, and it's prescribed at the time when they're young and they're developing. And Tylenol, just like every other painkiller, causes bleeding, thins your blood, does all these things. And let's see what the actual health issues are for Tylenol. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm looking at what it is because honestly, I did not look at it. But any medication actually causes toxicity in your body. It will always affect, because it's a chemical compound. Any chemical compound creates toxins, and your liver is what has to process it, right? So any medicine does that, unless it's a natural, like a biological thing, like fruits, vegetables, herbs. That's different. Meats, they're all natural, they're all organic, but chemicals are synthetically made, and those synthetic things affect many pathways that people are not aware of. So I don't know, and I'm going to say it out loud. I don't know the exact pathway, but I know what it does, Tylenol, in that, what the role is that we're going to talk about today, and how it is given as fever reducer, and it's given as a painkiller, and it's given to children and babies and to pregnant moms and to everybody else. So all are included, okay? Everybody's going to be impacted in a negative way by any chemical is what's going to come out. Because if Tylenol, the drug deemed safest, right, is toxic and is neurotoxic, because they're complaining that it causes autism and ADD and things like that, then what are the other drugs doing? Most of them cause stomach issues, leaky gut. They affect They cause bleeding and ulcerations. I'm sure Tylenol, if we looked into it, probably has similar things because everything is doing that, from naproxen, which is Aleve, to ibuprofen. These drugs do all these things over time, you know? So, and they're not good for you because they get absorbed really well, and they get absorbed right to all aspects of your body that, some things should be protected, like your blood-brain barrier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know that like one of the long-term effects is like liver, kidney damage.
definitely.
I know somebody who, I guess I knew somebody who was living with chronic pain for very long time, and the band-aid that the doctors slapped on it was prescription strength Tylenol, prescription strength Motrin. She ended up dying from multi-system organ cancer.
Oh my gosh.
The doctors linked it directly to the prescription strength Tylenol Motrin.
Wow. So cancer too. Well, it obviously it will affect your liver and kidneys because it's a chemical, it's a toxin.
Mm-hmm.
So your liver processes toxins, right? So it's going to be there in your liver. And why the kidneys? Because kidneys also process your urine and your or liquid, right? In your body. It regulates your hydration. So what happens is everything flows right through there as well.
Right.
So it makes sense why kidney and liver were impacted for this person. And wow, that's a shame that all these chemical drugs had such an impact on her. How old was this person?
In their 50s. Young.
Wow.
Young. And it's
Wow.
crazy because of all the things that could take her out, long time smoker,
Mm-hmm.
was
Yeah.
the Tylenol and the Motrin.
Yeah, I mean, people say that smoking, the only thing that's really bad about smoking and cigarettes is that there's sugar in the tobacco, in the preservatives. They literally stick the tobacco in overly ripened fruit and things like that. And so basically, when somebody's smoking, it's almost like they are, and that's why they want candy afterwards. They want to chew on gum if they're trying to quit. And basically, it's they're imagine taking a puff of sugar, and there's like a tablespoon or more, 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar in one cigarette. That's how much sugar is in there, and they don't understand what the preservatives that making them addicted. It's a sugar,
Mhm.
you know. But yeah, besides that, sorry, that was a tangent. But tobacco is a natural substance. Yes, it's bad for your lungs, but it's a natural substance. And it can have healthy effects on you.
I feel like if you use it in the right way, of course,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And then folic acid versus, I'm blanking on our word.
Folate.
Folate.
Yes. Okay. So yes, the other thing that we're going to talk about today is see this? I've got my bottle. It's backwards. Sorry, guys. It's folic acid, but it's methylfolate. You see that? Methylfolate. So this is folate, not folic acid. Folate is naturally occurring vitamin B9. You'll find it in legumes, leafy greens, liver, natural substances. Where you won't find it, it's so that's the natural form, folate. Folic acid is a synthetic form. Were you going to say something, Tara? No.
No.
Okay. So folic acid is what doctors have been prescribing moms, pregnant women, and newborn babies. Okay. Breastfeeding moms. So, because it's important for the child to get folic acid. And folate. Why is vitamin B9 so important? Because folate helps in the production of glutathione in your liver. Okay. B9 produces cysteine, and cysteine in turn produces is a component of glutathione. Okay. So what happens is, imagine you're a baby and you're developing, your cells are growing, your nervous system is growing, right? And now folate is important for cell division. Folate is important for your neural tube to grow, okay? Which means your nervous system and everything connected. Your neural tube is your central, like your spinal column, your central nervous system, all that, right? So it's important for the development and the growth of this. Well, if you put in folic acid, which the doctor prescribes, and I don't know if they're knowingly prescribing it or unknowingly prescribing it, but they're prescribed, oh, you need folic acid. Well, folic acid then floods your system because you're taking it, actively taking it, right? And in the concentrations that the doctor's giving it. Now, when that floods your system versus folate, which is natural occurring, and you're taking it in through leafy greens or other natural ways, you probably don't have that much folate in your system as you would if you're taking a folic acid pill, right? So now what happens is, this is synthetic and this is natural. This helps in the production of cysteine. Folic acid blocks folate from producing cysteine. Okay, so, and it blocks wherever folate would bind. Folic acid goes and sits there instead. So now, if you were to have glutathione, right, for things that you needed, you couldn't have glutathione. If you were trying to properly develop your nervous system, well, you got folic acid there that's competing with folate that you took, and you're not having healthy regeneration of your cells in your neural tube. So it's already affecting your nervous system just because you're taking folic acid in the first place versus folate. Okay. Then let's say you got vaccinated. Now, there's lots of toxins in vaccine. I mean, I was just talking with somebody and they were telling me about the sign on Giant, okay? And they're offering vaccines right now for flu. It's flu season. So come get your free vaccine here at Giant. And the vaccines is quite interesting, all the things that are in there, because the single doses doesn't have the mercury in it, but all the multi-dose, which they would prefer, unless you know to ask for the single dose, they're giving you the multi-dose. And so the pediatrician. Okay. And the pediatrician will tell you, you need to come get your flu vaccine. In fact, the pediatrician recommends you get the flu vaccine several times in the flu season too. Shot 1, shot 2, shot 3. And each shot, that was listed had a bunch of toxins in there. One of them was mercury. Mercury is a neurotoxin, right? Mercury is bad.
Wasn't mercury the cause of the Mad Hatter's disease? Like way, way back then.
I do not remember. I don't know about the Mad Hatter's disease, actually. Maybe you can tell. Do you know the story?
So the Mad Hatter's disease, let me look it up. I'm Googling a few things right now because I don't like to speak without truth in it, because I remember seeing somewhere that formaldehyde has also been used as a preservative in vaccines.
Formaldehyde. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was, I wouldn't be surprised. Formaldehyde is used to preserve, as a preservative. So it makes sense. Let me just go through while you're looking things up. I'm going to go through what was in the flu vaccine. Okay. This flu cell vax. It says it contains no egg protein or antibiotics. And this is the general. And then there's a whole bunch of other, they got so many different kinds of vaccines here. Then you got the multi-dose vial, contains thimerosal, a mercury derivative, and it says that, and it's added as a preservative in the multi-dose. And it also states here on the bottom, specific levels of hemagglutinin inhibition, which is HI, antibody titers induced by vaccination with inactivated influenza virus vaccine have not been correlated with with protection from influenza. So basically, this line is saying we're ready to give you the free flu shot, okay? But it does not, it's on the bottom line, it says it has not been evaluated that this flu vaccine protects you from the flu. They can't say that because they're giving you the flu vaccine from all the viruses from the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
Not from what's coming this year, because they don't know what strain is going to come this year.
Right.
So how will yesterday's strain protect you today? It doesn't make sense. It never has. But somehow people feel, and they tell you straight up front, these are last year's strains. How is that supposed to help you this year? There is no proof. They even tell you they cannot protect you, but yet everybody's scared and they want to go get the flu shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
especially if you already exposed yourself to it last year and built up the antibodies.
Yeah. So what's the point? You're right. You make an obvious point. So what's the point of getting the flu shot this year when you already have antibodies? You've probably gotten the flu multiple times and probably have antibodies to so many strains already.
Right.
Right? And then you just pump yourself with more toxins, basically mercury, which is a neurotoxin.
Yes. And
Yes.
I found it too. So in the 18th and 19th century, mercury was used as part of the process, turning like rabbit fur into felt for like for making hats.
Mm-hmm.
So typically it's not really a thing anymore, but back then they would notice these hat makers becoming more irritable, having persistent emotional, mental changes, behavioral changes, and they coined the Mad Hatter's disease, and it's directly linked to overexposure to mercury.
Wow. Okay. And what were the symptoms again, you said? Irritable?
So it's irritability, emotional, mental changes, behavioral changes. So essentially, like, think of the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's, of course, dramatized for our entertainment, but a lot of his craziness is because he has the Mad Hatter's disease. That's why he's the Mad Hatter.
Strange. And, current children, the children of today have these same exact symptoms.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if there's more correlation there than...
Yeah.
This is speculation, of course, but...
No, it's not speculation. Mercury is an identified neurotoxin, and I just read to you, and giant in the flu vaccine, which if you're above 6 months, I think 3 months and under, or 6 months and under, as they give you the vaccine that doesn't have the mercury, up to 1 year. After that, after the one or a certain number of years, I think 1 to 2 years after that age, they give you the vaccine that has a mercury in it.
And we're micro dosing ourselves with something that has been proven. It was a problem before. It's not as common now, but if it's just not to the same large scale, and we're seeing all these irritable kids.
Yeah, and how do you know if your pediatrician is using a multi-dose or a single dose for your child? You ask. And if you don't ask, it's easier for them to use the multi-dose because it's cheaper for them, right? And so, yes, you're right. So mercury poisoning is happening in the vaccines. Your child gets, right from birth, they give you the hepatitis shot, as they said, why are you getting hepatitis if hepatitis is a blood-borne disease, okay? The only way to get hepatitis is if you have blood transfusion or it's sexually transmitted. If you're a drug user or you have what baby that's born is going to have that? I don't know which newborn baby is having sex or blood transfusions. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense, right?
Mhm.
So they vaccinate you on day one as soon as you're born with hepatitis. And hepatitis vaccine alone has so many health issues. Okay.
Mhm.
So there's crap in there. There's aluminum in these vaccines. There's lots of things in these vaccines. And then what's happening is, hold on one second. I just have to do that. So what's happening is that once you have that neurotoxin, I'm sorry, the hepatitis, which is already toxic for the body, now it's in the liver, right? Because the liver processes your toxins. Now, we talked about the folic acid. The mom's taking the folic acid before the child is born because they tell you to take folic acid and omega-3s and blah, blah, blah. Um, uh, at the OBGYN, right? So then what happens is, imagine the baby gets a hepatitis vaccine. All the toxic stuff goes in the liver.
Mhm.
You're taking a folic acid, not folate, and the folic acid blocks the folate from making the glutathione. The glutathione clears the toxins from your liver. Okay. So now, number one, the folate is helping your cell regeneration and your neural tube function. It can't do that because you got folic acid there competing. And then the folic acid is also competing for the glutathione as transferase. And you just took a vaccine. And then the doctor says, hey, if your baby's got a fever, you should, or your baby's vaccinated, give your baby Tylenol for the first cup a day or so, right? So your baby doesn't develop a fever. So now the Tylenol also is toxic. You just got this whole pool of toxicity sitting in your liver and no glutathione being produced to clear it. And then the lack of folate in your system that helps with cell regeneration and your neural tube growth and function is not present. You wonder why there's autism. You wonder why there's ADHD. You wonder why there is, what did you say? Irritation, agitation, all these issues going on, mental issues with children today. It's all related. A lot of it is related to these things. And I know, just look back before all these vaccines were present. Look, as they said, look at the Amish, right? They do not vaccinate.
Mhm.
Um, in India, I don't know what the situation is now, but as a child, when I was born, you weren't vaccinated like that, and back then also there weren't that many vaccines. Um, it was different to get a shot. Um, it was rare. It wasn't often. And I'd have to say my experience with vaccines and toxicity was when I was 5 years old and I got a rabies vaccine, which isn't normal, and it's the one of the worst and the most toxic vaccines you can get, and it was 13 shots at that time and right in your belly. I think I told you about that because of the monkey, yeah, and clear change happened that year for me because I didn't need glasses before then. I was 5 years old. I had my vision was fine. Um, and I was healthy, didn't have problems. But that year that I got the vaccine, I needed glasses all of a sudden. Um, I fell and had so many accidents in that 1 year in my life while I was being vaccinated than I ever had. And then after that, it just impacted one system after another, which most normal women don't have those impacts. Like with my cycle, my monthly cycle and things like that, everything was impacted in a way nobody else had in my family. And looking back at it, it was obvious that it was related to the vaccine, you know? Um, so I can understand the toxicity of the vaccine and why the eyes and why is it important that I lost, uh, my vision. Like I needed glasses is because in traditional Chinese medicine they say the liver, the eyes and the liver are connected, right? So if there's toxicity in the liver and the liver's not 100%, then your eyes, you'll know according to what's going on with your eyes. And so me not being able to see properly just tells you that I had liver issues too. You know? So these are, the toxicities there. It's a shame what's happening, and this is happening right at birth, right? You know, and what else is happening that we're not, so many things that we are being impacted by. But there are ways, and here's a way, and I talked to you about it earlier. How do you produce the glutathione in your body, right? Um, Eat leafy green vegetables. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that if you go to the grocery store and you buy foods, and they are foods like cereals, grains, let me give you the full list here. Um, let's see. Breakfast cereals, breads and baked goods, pastas, rice, flour and cornmeal, crackers and snacks all contain folic acid. Okay. The synthetically created folate.
Mhm.
Whereas leafy greens, legumes, avocados, broccoli, asparagus, citrus fruits like oranges, peas, nuts, and seeds, eggs, beets, they all, liver, like beef or chicken liver, all have folate in there. So basically, check labels. You may be picking up something thinking, oh, I'm going to be healthy. Let me take my folate, right? I'm gonna go buy a bottle of folate and take it. You're gonna try to be healthy and just go get a bottle, right? And then you go to the grocery store and you buy some bread or cereal, and you like to eat cereal. I mean, cereal is like bye bye. I haven't eaten cereal a long time in my life now. Bread, I love bread. I just had some bread, but it was sourdough bread. So you got to be careful what kind of bread you eat too.
Mhm.
And where you get it. And pastas, everybody loves pasta. And be careful, white rice and some instant rice products are also, and rice is like for Asian people, it's a real, staple, right?
Mhm.
So pastas and rices and breads are staples, and yet they're fortified with folic acid. So you go to the store and you are assuming you're trying to be healthy by taking folate on a regular basis, but yet you are chomping on snacks that are fortified with folic acid. You're still getting the folic acid into your system, and then it's competing with the actual folate that
Mhm.
you're taking, and it's not helping you out. It's doing still you're still in the same place.
Yeah.
So read labels.
And I feel like that really is the perfect example. I feel like every segment of every podcast that we've done so far has had the underlying theme of whole foods, how
Yeah.
important whole foods are for you and your health. And I think this is just another aspect to look at where
Mhm.
those more processed foods are literally
Yes.
blocking your receptors from allowing your body to clear out the toxins.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it is, you don't even realize what you got to eat. Like you pick up something, and then how do you know what half the chemicals on those labels are?
Hmm.
You know? You don't know what they are. You pick up a bottle of something to drink these days, right? What's the thing people drink? Celsius, or even
Red Bull.
oh my God, the worst things. In the Figuring Out Friday boys are going to talk about this, okay? But you don't even know. Even crackers, right? You pick it up and it's got so.
Let's mortify ourselves.
Okay, okay. Bring a good example, right?
This is the pre-workout that everybody raves about and everybody is all over.
Mm-hmm.
Let's find ingredients. Well, I found other ingredients, which is natural flavor, sodium citrate, silica, sucralose.
Wow.
Acesulfame potassium, vegetable juice, but only for color.
Oh.
Fruit juice for color. Don't think a single one of those items I can go and pick up off the shelf at the grocery store.
Nope. And sucralose is a sweetener that's not good for you. And natural flavors, that is called, you have to say natural flavors in quotes because you don't know what that means. They call things natural flavors that are not healthy for you.
Mm-hmm. And I can't find an entire list of ingredients anywhere.
Wow.
On this bottle.
Wow. So you've got things in there that you don't know on what the chemicals are, and natural flavors, and no actual ingredient lists.
No, I genuinely cannot find an ingredient list on here.
That's crazy. So you're just taking it without knowing what's in there.
I just got it for the spooky vibes.
I see.
I love Halloween.
I get it.
I've had this for like a month and it's still full.
Okay, good. Keep it that way. It's better to just go to the grocery store, and if you know what, it's a one ingredient substance: apples, avocados, spinach. There are numbers. Don't get me wrong. There are numbers on those things that tell you if there's a 9 in front of those numbers, the SKU code or whatever it is. The 9 means it's organic. If there's not a 9 in front of it, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yes, they have the GMO stuff. Even though it's a whole food, now they have GMO things into those vegetables and things, fruits and things like that. And I did read an article about, this was a while back, there was an Italian young man, 23-year-old in Italy, that was working, taking his lunch break. It was a new job. He was a construction worker. And he had a sandwich, just a basic sandwich with good, healthy bread. This is Italy. This is not, their food is more healthier than ours. Okay. Right. So they had bread. He had cheese. He had everything else besides bread was whole food, so-called whole food, right? The lettuce, tomato, and some meat and onions, right? And the kid sits down to have his lunch, and ends up having an allergic reaction, a really bad allergic reaction. And they had to take him to the hospital. He didn't have his EpiPen, and they didn't know how to treat him because they didn't know what he could have been allergic to that he would have ingested, because they didn't understand what was happening to him. The kid died. He was 23 years old. He died of anaphylactic shock. Okay. Because the tomatoes that he ate had like shellfish genes in there. So I guess it was iodine. What people, is it iodine allergies that people have to shellfish? Something like that. So he died because he was allergic to that. And there was a gene of that in the tomatoes. So you really have to be careful, and people don't understand. Oh, well, organic or non-organic, it's all the same. No, you got to be careful and pay attention. And yeah, organic foods is a little bit more money, but they didn't mess with the genome of the organic food, but they did mess with the genome of the GMO food. That's why it's called genetically modified. And so now back to talking about the glutathione, which clears out toxins in your body, which is very important because everywhere we look, just like you showed on your bottle, there's sucralose in there, at least one substance we can identify and complain about. And sucralose, silica is also, there's silica, and you said something else questionable, right? I don't really know the
I
effect
think
of.
everything's about questionable.
Yeah. So
L-theanine.
L-theanine is an amino acid. That should be good.
What is L-tyrosine?
Another amino acid.
Beta-alanine.
Amino acid.
I don't like that I can't pronounce them.
Got it.
I'm reading this and I just feel stupid by reading it. So
That's okay.
What
So
was it the Figuring Out Friday guy said that steak is a good source?
yes,
We're going to Outback.
that's right. There you go. There you go. So so when you talk about like having sucralose, which is not a good sugar and cancer causing, most fake sugars are cancer causing, right? They've been studied and identified as that's what they do. So NutraTree, sucralose, not stevia, sweet and low, these kinds of things. Well, so you need your glutathione to actually clear out the toxins in your liver. If you're sick, you need your glutathione to clear out the toxins from that your immune system dumps right into your liver, because when you're sick, you produce a lot of toxins. So what happens is you need glutathione. How do you produce glutathione? Okay. One thing is that coffee actually helps you have glutathione. So drink coffee, but you have to be careful that you have nice organic coffee, and it is, there you go, not from a Keurig plastic cup. Okay. And so not drinking it in a Starbucks cup that has plastic inside and other toxic chemicals, right? But if you have a nice cup of coffee like you had, the cup that you just showed, okay, from your house, you've made the coffee in your coffee machine that is plastic free. There you go, non-toxic, and you make your coffee organic, then that should be healthy, and it should help produce glutathione in your body, actually. So should eating all those whole foods. And another way is one way, easy, quick way to detox your body. This is something that not everybody's open to, but I'm going to say it. It's coffee enemas. And that thing will flush the toxins out of your body like nobody's business. So, it basically what it does is it activates glutathione as transferase through your colon and your hepatoportal vein, and it stimulates the liver. It actually even affects your bile and things like that, and flushes everything out of your gallbladder, your liver, and it cleans all the toxin and cleans your blood. Like almost every 5 minutes, it'll clean your blood and really pull toxins out, because we really are exposed to so many toxins in our life every day, and Western traditions, Western cultures are not open to these things like enemas and things like that. Whereas Eastern cultures, no, you got to clean out your gut. You put in things They come from outside. And even if it's a whole food, it still has a natural source. And as people are like saying these days, no, you don't know. Even if you go to an organic farm, right? My mom we have a CSA at an organic farm. If it's organic, they're not spraying anything on on their vegetables. They have a healthy soil, right? But the healthy soil includes worms and bugs. So some of their crop, especially depending on how much rain you get, if you get too much rain, you're going to have things growing there. So you bring the vegetables back, and the kale always has so many bugs in it, you know? And you are gonna get a little green worm from your vegetables here and there, caught in the cauliflower or the broccoli or something, you know? So, what are you gonna do? You're gonna eat it. If you don't cook it and you eat it raw, it's going in. Who knows if how, clean the gut up,
Yeah. And
right?
wash the vegetables.
Wash the vegetables properly. Good luck. 'Cause,
May the
I
odds be ever in your favor.
say that again?
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Exactly, and I think they say baking soda?
Baking soda, vinegar.
Baking soda and vinegar will probably take out. Yeah, vinegar, you gotta be careful. Vinegar is not always healthy. They say have some apple cider vinegar and it helps your system, but it's found not to be so good for acid in your system, and it should you so you gotta be careful on your apple cider vinegar, or a vinegar, but the baking soda is healthy for you. So whatever gets bugs out. The other day, there's these little ants that are coming out from the hole on my floor.
Mhm.
They'll come in because they want to be inside. And it's summertime. It's hard to avoid ants sometimes. And there's nothing there except for the dog food. So it's coming for the dog food. It's a little tiny hole. And so it's just in the tile. And the other day, I thought about it, I said, I don't have cinnamon because cinnamon gets rid of bugs. But
Mhm.
Indian spices, they are made to combat parasites. Cinnamon, cloves, turmeric, and other things. They help with parasites and bacterial. Because in tropical places like that, you get a lot of gut things. So the spices actually control that. And so what I decided to do that day was I said, I don't have ground cinnamon right now. Let me go and grab some baking soda. So I have some organic baking soda. I grabbed a pinch of it and I threw it in the hole. Not a single ant has come out that hole, you know? So one of the ways to do baking soda is a good way. I mean, baking soda is a cleanser. If you do the organic baking soda, it'll cleanse your system. Um, Another thing to do is castor oil, right? Castor oil packing on your liver. Castor oil is the most absorbent oil. It'll go right through your skin into your organs, and it really holds light really well. And there's a reason why that's very important for you to have castor oil, but castor oil packing detoxes the liver. It probably affects glutathione and produces glutathione in some way. And but it's a great cleanse. It actually it's anti-inflammatory. You can put castor oil wherever there's inflammation. There's also toxins. Okay, but you can put castor oil pack. Basically, you just get some cold press castor oil. You layer it on like a white cotton cloth. You don't want it colored or dyed or anything. And if it's organic, that's what you want, or a piece of wool. And then you just put it right on top of your skin. So the castor oil side facing your skin, and put some wet heat on it for like 40 minutes. And pain, inflammation, it'll reduce it. It's great.
Mhm.
Um, when you're sick, It's great to use. I mean, Indian people, we put that castor oil, you can drink a shot of castor oil and cleanse out your stomach, you know? That's what they use. When you have a baby who has trouble going, they use the castor oil actually for the baby so the baby can actually poop, but it's kind of like a castor oil suppository. It helps the a baby poop, you know. Um, you can drink it also. You just have to be close to the bathroom. It'll cleanse your stomach out. And then you can, yes, be
Call out
careful.
of work. Call out of work that day.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I mean, these are remedies which are wonderful. I love to talk about these things because when you're sick, these are what you should go to, not to Tylenol,
Mm-hmm.
you know, not to other chemical things. But like in India, what happens if you can't breathe and your baby, right? They don't give you anything. They'll go warm up some castor oil, put you on their lap, and they'll drip the warm, not hot, because you gotta be careful. They'll
Right.
drip the warm castor oil in your nose because it'll line your nasal passages and open it up. Okay. And smooth it out because it's anti-inflammatory. Everything that's swollen will begin to detox and soothe this. It'll soothe the inflammation in your nasal passages. You know, so the irritation will calm down, and that nice oily feeling, it'll smooth it. It won't hurt so much. And when my son used to be sick, right? Sahan used to, when he gets sick, it would always irritate his ears a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So another good remedy is hydrogen peroxide. Because hydrogen peroxide you can use in many ways too to help you detox. So I would clean out his ears with hydrogen peroxide. I think you dilute the hydrogen peroxide a little bit, put it in the ears, clean it out, and then add the castor oil and plug it with the castor oil in there. And I would do that 2 times a day. And we were on a trip. We had nothing with us, no herbs, no nothing. We were all the way in Austin on our way back, and he was so sick. I just did that. And then before we got back, he was fine. See? So you can take care of so many things with castor oil. And if there's anything that you would need in a medicine cabinet, that would be castor oil, hydrogen peroxide, Epsom salt, baking soda. These things are really good remedies for many health issues. And my go-tos, really, if I'm sick, I'm doing gua sha. Okay, that's the first thing I do usually. And then, of course, I'm going to say it. It's, do the coffee enema, cleanse out your gut. Because when you're sick, your stomach is getting disrupted.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being sick for 3 to 5 days, it's over in like 1 or 2. So why torture yourself and continue with the sickness instead do these things, and then you won't need the Tylenol, you won't need the other items. And plus, I think take your folate because that will help you
It helps
tremendously.
make the boat to send the things out the system.
Yes, you got
The
it.
boat.
Yes. It helps the glutathione boat to take everything out.
It's a
And
necessary boat.
yes, it is. And you know what? We've blocked kids. We've pumped them up with toxins, and we've blocked them from detoxing.
Mm-hmm.
And another good thing that the folate helps with is the nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide helps with free radicals and that kind of stuff. And you know what? When you take folic acid instead of folate, you can't have these things. You can't. It helps the glutathione. It'll folate will help produce glutathione, and it'll help detox in many other ways. So take the folate. Don't eat things with folic acid in it, and don't take folate. And these are the things that are in the news right now, and it's impacting children in such huge ways. Um, the ADD, ADHD is really crazy right now. It's really crazy. Why? Because all this stuff is neurotoxic, and the folic acid blocks your neural growth and healthy nervous system. So if you can't have a healthy nervous system, and then you're blocking, having mercury toxin and things like that in your body, and then like fillings also have mercury in them, silver fillings.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have silver fillings in their mouth, and they don't realize that they're mercury fillings that are very toxic for you. And then we've got kids dealing with this and trying to go to school. Then you have to have a 504 plan. And then, oh, well, my kid's got ADD, ADHD, autism. And they're having, as Karina's telling me, as one girl has autism in her school, in her class, and she's having a breakdown in the middle of the lab. And she's like, I'm having to do lab, and she's my lab partner. And I'm having to find a way to get the lab done while consoling her and trying to address the other kid who's paranoid because she's got to ask 50,000 questions. She's probably also got some sort of neurological thing going on. You know what I mean? And this is the state and condition of the kids today. This is what it is. How do you produce a normal, healthy child here? And that's where I think this is why I like what's going on. They're decoupling the vaccines, which means like measles, mumps, and rubella can't be put together in one vaccine anymore. They have to be separated.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to vaccinate, if you feel that's what you got to do, but remember, most of these vaccines that they're giving, there's a lot of these diseases have been eradicated already. But they're still vaccinating. It doesn't make sense to me. But if it's gone, then what are you vaccinating for?
For funsies.
Yeah.
Funsies.
We talked about that, right?
Yeah. That's my favorite Friday night.
What's that? That's what?
That's my favorite Friday night. Just the wrong kind of shot.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. I'm just lost there's so much to address here, like from food, vaccines, medication. The doctors don't even recommend the right things anymore. Like I'm just gonna tell you, I took my dogs in, and they're saying it's kennel cough. They prescribed antibiotics, and I'm thinking, this doesn't make sense. My dogs went in August, beginning of August, to the kennel. That was it for less than a week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's September, it's October. But this is what they do to dogs. This is what they do to people.
Right.
Let's just assume it's something we don't even know and give the worst option.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do the thing that's most toxic, the worst thing, and see how we can tackle it. Yeah. And I'm not confident that's what it was, because you know why? They still are having breathing problems.
And you know what it is? They do this to people stuff too, but for dogs, they created this big fear-mongering title, kennel cough, which is just any upper respiratory disease that your dog can possibly get.
Wow.
So kennel cough can be one of 9,000 million different things, just like a cold, 1,000 million different things. And then they say, here are some antibiotics in case they get a secondary infection, but let's not treat or investigate what this current one is. We're not going to do any testing. We're not going to do any kind of imagery to see if there's something going on in the lungs. Maybe it's a collapsed trachea. We'll feel it, but no, you're fine.
Wow, exactly.
Meds, go home.
That's what happened. Yeah. And this is what they do to animals. This is what they do to people. It's the same. And you know what? Both are helpless.
Mm-hmm.
Both don't have words to speak up for themselves.
Yep.
And go ahead, what were you going to say?
I'm gonna say, if you are a pet owner and you're mad that that happens to your pet, why are you not mad when it happens to yourself?
Yeah, to yourself and your child, you know? I
Your
mean,
friends, your family?
yes. I mean, this is a real problem. It's an all-around problem for every living being that unless you're living out there in the wild as deer and some other animals, we're all in this whole system together.
Mm-hmm. And we have the ability to advocate for ourselves. We have
Yes.
voices.
Mhm. You're right, because they've been trying to take it away. You distract you, give you toxins, so you're unhealthy. So you don't look at things, and you're too busy being sick and not feeling well. And look up. Why are you not feeling well? Look up and see what is going on with your life and participate.
Mm-hmm.
And don't keep your head down.
And don't forget that folic acid is your toxic best friend who doesn't want you to be happy.
You got it.
Yeah.
For sure.
He doesn't want you in a good relationship.
No. And
You want a good friend, you find folate.
yes. And the active form, I think this bottle says methylfolate, active form of folic acid. Um, so they're not saying it's folic acid, they're saying it's folate,
Mm-hmm.
methylfolate. And you want the folate. They're trying to tell you on the bottle active form of folic acid because everybody's been told folic acid, take
Right.
folic acid by their doctor. So you're gonna say, "What the heck is folate?" You don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, you gotta look at so many things, right? Food, medicine, vaccines, um, the things that are around you. There are so many toxins, and you need the glutathione. There's one thing that really works, and also is the LifeWave patches, and I have to put that in, if anybody's interested in them, they can talk to us about it because we are distributors for that. LifeWave, they have patches. There's nothing that goes into your skin, but they have a glutathione patch that you can put right on your liver, and it actually enhances the production of glutathione, and it uses infrared energy to stimulate the glutathione production in your body. All the patches actually. There's only like amino acids and things in the patches. Nothing goes into your skin, and it uses basically your body to warm itself up. And the infrared light, if you go out in the sun, it works even better. And I found the patches to work really well. So these are the ways to get your glutathione going. Detox. Danny always recommends parsley tea. I'm sure parsley tea helps glutathione in some way because it detoxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's either helping your liver or your kidneys, one way or another. And so research many ways on how to actually detox because there's too many toxins around.
100%.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do our next pod on just detoxing.
Well, that's a good idea.
One-on-one on detox.
Okay.
Coming to you soon, friends.
Sounds good.
I think that might be just nearing towards all the time that we might have for today. We will definitely see our best friend Meenal very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. I always love having you on.
Thank
Again,
you.
friends, this is What's Up Wednesdays, the professionals of the Roundtable, always brought to you by Healing Your Way, that you can find on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. It really helps us out. And I will see you all next week.
Yes, and watch all the other podcasts that we got
All
going
of
on.
them.
Yes.
We have Friday podcast. We have Saturday podcast. Who knows? We might get funky and throw in a Monday and a Tuesday.
Oh, we might actually. The boys are ready to start it. So
Tuesdays with the twins.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.